So good evening, everyone. And today we're going to look at data governance and data integrity. These are two distinct words or two distinct phrases that are actually used in data analysis or just the general data that we have in our companies. And things have really changed. And what we used not to think was valuable is today more valuable than any other thing, and that is data, information that you have. So currently, I know most of us have been accepting, have been having these places where you go and sign up, and you always see that the data collector always asks you that, are you accepting that we use this information also with our partners? So, and then you say yes, then you come and start asking yourself, where did Betika get my number? So you don't know, Betika is one of the partners that you've been agreeing with so that they can share the details. So I want to delve in and look into this information and see what do we have, and within your company as HR, what can you actually do to make sure that whatever you are holding is well governed and can be used for decision making, because what we use data for most in cases is just decision making and ensuring that our businesses move forward. So now I will share my screen. Allow me to introduce our partners. These are companies that accept that I be able to use their systems in actually during the trainings. And if you're also looking for a system, you can actually also check with them. So we have got Endurance, which is the company that I run, and this Endurance is the mother of HRTechTalk that we are having. So we coiled the idea at Endurance. It's a consultancy firm, but we do more of HR systems, analysis, and trainings in that line. We also have WorkPay, a HR system, same to HR Mates. Then Paragon People Solutions is a HR consultancy firm also that does end-to-end of HR consultancy. Then you have got HR Matrix and Analytics. That's an app that I built for us as HR that we can now do data analysis properly. So that's briefly of our partners, which we always thank them for giving us the chance so that we can actually test. And if you go to WorkPay, they'll give you a demo version that you can actually use to learn more. If you go to HR Mates, I've been sharing the demos details where you can actually go and try. If you've never used a HR system, this is a chance for you to look into these demos and see what they have, so that when you're called for any interview or you want to make an impact, yeah, then you always have some skills that come up for you. So it will be a good one if you get to attend this, if you get to attend to the demos that you always give. So now, when it comes to our topic for the day today, we are looking at role of data governance, data governance policies in maintaining data integrity. So we have said that we are looking into two things today: data governance and data integrity. So I would want us also to pay more attention to the two that we are able to get to learn. And whoever is bringing this session to you today is Nelson Oguda. I am your host and also your presenter today. I'm in HR, and I love data, and that's why I'm here also to speak about data governance and data integrity. I have worked as data analyst for now. This is my 4th year, deeply just separating now myself from normal HR day to day, but now dealing with the HR analysis only. So yes, so that's who I have been, and also I'm also the current trendsetter in the HR space. So yes, now welcome to our today's session. So the key highlights, what are we going to look at? We are going to look at the introduction, which we are saying now will be the definition that we have. And then why do we have data integrity? Why do we need it? Yeah. And then we look at the challenges in ensuring data integrity. So I worked in a place where we always kept on asking ourselves, is this data true? Can we trust this data? We keep on, and there's always been a reason why we should not trust that data. So we want to look at what are those challenges. Then now, what is the role of data governance, which is our key topic? And then what are the best practices of effective data governance? So once I do that, we'll also be able to chip in, because I know we do something in our companies and we are glad to share amongst ourselves. Yeah. So now, data integrity is the accuracy of information that you're having. So accurate in terms of it is able, if you're giving Nelson as a name, we are sure that we have a staff called Nelson. If it is 30,000, you know it's 30,000 Kenya shillings. Reliable is mean that we can do something with it. That's the reliability. We can do something with it. And then consistency of data, it means that even if I ask you for the second time, you will give me the same thing. So challenge comes in here. A good example in HR. What's your name? My name is Nelson Guda Owino. So tomorrow I will change my name to Oguda Nelson Owino. The next day I will start with Owino Nelson Oguda. So consistency could be we are missing consistency. Because again, sometimes what happens if I are to do what we call data VLOOKUP that we are learning, actually we want to transfer some data. If you don't have that consistency, then you will have a problem in data merging. Yeah. So it will be a problem for you. So we're saying that data integrity is the process where we are able to be accurate, give the same information, and also have it in the same way over and over again. So that's the data integrity. So don't give me age today for Nelson 29, tomorrow it is 30. I know it will change, but it doesn't change abruptly like that. So when did I join? 2019, tomorrow giving me 2018. So can we trust it? How many customers have you served today? 13. Should remain 13 all through. Yeah. Then we are looking at why are we looking about data integrity? It is because of decision making, for compliance and trust. I know our elder sister here, Lillian, who is also an elder in our HR space. Lillian reports sits in the board. And I know if you go with the wrong, if your first page is wrong, automatically nobody will trust the other pages of that report. I've done reports, and when something happens in the first page of a report, even the board will start thinking, is everything that you're going to look at also wrong? Can we trust that make the decision on it? And what if there is compliance issues? What are you going to do about it? Then now governance is what we always know is a framework on how do we manage that data to ensure integrity of the same. Yeah. So what is the importance of data integrity? We're just going to look at it again. The foundation is that it is about decision making, regulatory compliance, and stakeholders trust. And we talked about this. If an employee comes today and asks, how many leave days do I have? You say you have 14 days. Then I come tomorrow, tell me how many days do you have? I have 10, but I've not gone for any leave. So next time what will happen is that they will say that, please check twice. Because what told me yesterday and what I have today is not the same thing. Yeah. So that's why we're saying that you need your stakeholders to trust you. So what you have should always remain the same unless it has changed in a way that you can explain. Yeah. So this key is about financial reporting, customer management, strategic planning. So as we do reports, and even HR, we have financial implications. So if you have 20 headcount, and then a payroll is paying 50 people, you have to explain the 30. Yeah. So let us also look at not only HR reporting, but also financial reporting. So what is the impact of what you are doing with data that you have in the financials? Remember, companies will always do financial reportings, and most decisions, however much talk about HR, also the decisions being based on it, but financial part bears a lot of company decision making. So we also look into that. Customer management. So your customers are also employees are also customers in our department. And also looking at this as strategic planning. So if you don't have proper data, then there'll be a problem for us in strategic planning. Let's assume that you're saying that your salespeople continue cooking values. They continue getting customers served. So like, I want to give an example. I've had so many examples to give here, is that there's a friend of mine who was hired by a given firm to bring in new clients. So what this guy did, took the names and phone numbers of the class members that we were in that time and registered all of us with different companies. So I get someone calling me and saying that I see that you sell this item. Where can I get it? Now, in the company that this person works with, already advertised the business that I own. I don't have that business. So they had a plan for it and even did advertisement and saying that we have these companies working. So they spent money without proper without proper information. So even the customers that were coming to me, I could not help. So meaning they had wrong data, meaning that we now saying that the integrity of that data could be questioned. So how do you ensure that you make it proper? Yeah. So now we come to challenges of ensuring in ensuring data integrity. So what is the problem? Where do the problem start in? One, data silos. You go to marketing, ask them for any information, they have it on their own. They want information about the employee, it is you who needs to be asked anything about employees. Even though you train on HR for an HR, you want to hold on to all information. You go to finance, ask them for some data in financial, they don't want to give it to you. So meaning people own data at their own departments or at their own levels. Yes, I am a HR analyst, but sometimes you go ask for some information for what you want to analyze, and people are holding back. You are wondering what is the problem. So data silos, meaning I'm holding it for my own benefit, not giving it to someone else. Yeah. So lack of data quality management. You go to a system, find that ID number has been entered 20 figures, or it has got even, like in Kenya here, we know that our IDs are in all numerics. So you go to a system, find that the IDs are entered in alphanumerics. Yeah. So you are wondering what's the problem. But in Uganda, if you go to Uganda or Rwanda, they have got alphanumeric IDs. So you want to say that, we were saying that if you don't have those quality management checks, whoever confirm that data, then all validation points, then they will have wrong information. So because you have a system that cannot check on validation of the information, then there'll be a problem. So insufficient data security. Now, one of the issues also that we might have a problem with is that if you don't have security for information that you have, someone can actually hack it. Yeah. And when it is hacked, they can change information that is there. That is one. Number two, you can be having a virus information. So meaning they can change the format, the information that is in there. So you will be losing the integrity of that data. So if it can be changed by someone else without you, so you find that a manager has got a chance to edit employee details. You also as superadmin, you also have the same details. So whoever changes that information without proper commands or channels will lead to data not being trustworthy. So integrity will be lost. The inadequate governance framework. I don't know whether we have governance frameworks in our companies. So if you do, then you should actually be saying that you have a proper data integrity. So actually, where should we start? Should we start collecting data, or should we start with the governance framework? A question I'm posing, I want to see the answers. From what we've just done, where should we start? Do we start with data collection, or we start with the governance? Anyone?
I think we should start with governance, then we collect.
Okay.
My
governance.
view. Yes, we start with governance, setting policies, and then thereafter, then we collect the data.
Okay. Someone else with a different idea?
Yes, I think you should also start with the governance, because the governance framework is what will guide the activities going forward. So we need to start with governance.
Okay. The last person? Yes, so we'll start with the governance, because the governance is what guides. Yeah. So what we've just looked at, the first part is, I was just trying to make sure that whatever you have, you look back in your company, what you're currently having, that you've already gathered from every source. Is it integral? If not, then now you need to go back and now start from zero. So we're starting from zero, meaning you're starting from a framework-based kind of. So now, data governance. What did we say about data governance? Someone who can remember data governance, what it's all about?
I think you
Yes.
said data governance is a framework that guides companies in order, like guides companies to know how to protect their data, how to interact with data. Yes.
Okay, yeah, true. That's correct. So now, so you talk about data governance, we are looking at the policies and procedures. I know we might be having policies and procedures, but do we have one specifically for data governance? Data governance also involves people, because you can never have policies without people because you are having them because of people. Then you also have control. So these controls sometimes come in terms of technology. So what does data governance ensure? It ensures that you have data quality management, security, data lifecycle management, and metadata management. So the whole data that you are having. So how does it move around? So these 4 areas, we want to look deeply into them. So for the first one, we are saying that data quality management. So we are able to set standards. What are we looking for? We are looking for employees to give us their 3 names. We're looking for customers to give us 3 names. We're looking for proper ID numbers for specific customers. These are what we are looking for. If it is about currencies, what currency are we going to? We're going to use currency in Kenya shillings. If I'm talking about template for data collection, how should it look like? Yeah. So how do we keep on monitoring? How will we be checking? Yeah. And identifying and rectifying issues. So if I find that Nelson keyed in a wrong salary, should he be the same person to correct it, or someone should be correcting it? Yeah. If we had Nelson being given a wrong contract, who should actually rectify that? Yeah. So ensuring accurate and consistent data. So consistency, what tools are we using? Then metadata management. That is the second one I'm looking at. So the context and meaning to data. I asked today, why are you collecting people's phone numbers? One reason would be, why are you collecting phone numbers for Nelson, yet I'll come to work every day? Why would you need my phone number? One quick answer.
To be able to get in touch if you don't come to work.
Which is okay, yes. You cannot come to work. The second one, apart from that, because Nelson might be coming to work daily, so there's no day that I foresee not coming to work. Another one that may be a bit hidden.
There's some quick information that needs to be passed.
Quick information needs to be passed, yes. I'm looking for the third one. Okay. The third one would be, to me, I would mean this. Why we collect those phone numbers? Remember, nowadays we have got systems that actually you can do some of you can actually check you can send employee SMSs or messages, right? About what the second person just said, if you want to pass some information. So remember, for you to buy bulk SMSs, you want to know which line will I be sending to. So how many people do I have that on Airtel, so that when I buy a bundle for Airtel, I know how many should I buy. So if I was to buy for the Safaricom, how much would I buy? If I were to buy for Telecom, how much would I use? So that's why we are saying that you give context to what you are looking for. So why are you collecting that data that you are looking at? Yeah. Then data lineage, relationship, and usage. So that's what we're talking also about that. Now you determined why you need it. You have the meaning for that information. So how is it going to be in this company? How can we trace it? Yeah. If we don't have the prefix, so why doing the prefix in it? Yeah. So that's what we're saying, that's metadata management. So you're looking at it before you collect it, you have to think in that line. Then data lifecycle management, the creation of it, the storage, the archival and disposal. Yeah. Then reduction of risk of obsolete or inaccurate data. You go to a company, as someone got married 5 years ago, nothing has been ever changed in this person's file. So you leave the company, another HR comes in, go to the file and say, people are not married in this company. People are very single. So even the medical that we need to look at, we don't need to have medical for most of our employees who covering families. So data life cycle. So how long should we be updating it? Which one should we be removing? Yeah. Data security and privacy. So access controls. The access can be even as simple as office being closed at all times. I remember some places where I worked, I could not be able to have my door open throughout. That was their policy because I was holding some information. But I could have people come into the office, right? I had the key card. So even having a key card, having padlock and key, having files locked in a drawer, that's access control. Data compliance, there are now regulations. GDPR, HIPAA, DPA is our act. So Gladys, I believe you're able to crunch for us what is GDPR and what is HIPAA. Very fast. GDPR in full and HIPAA in full. If you're there.
Okay, yes, hi. GDPR is in full means General Data Protection Regulation, and it applies to, it's an international framework that applies to all organizations targeting or collecting personally identifiable information, which is information that's like it's exclusive to you, like your name, your ID number, your card number. Yes. And it's for people in the UK or members of the EU. Yes. And HIPAA in full stands for Health, Insurance, Portability, and Accountability Act. It's a US law as well that limits the use of protected health information by healthcare organizations. Yes. Then the BPA is now it's a local framework that has been drawn from GDPR. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I hope we've been able to understand that. And thank you, Gladys, for sharing that with us. So if you can also go deep and understand, because when now you are going to write your framework, then those are things that should be guiding you. We have our internal one that we talked about, our DPA. And I know that you've now understood WorldCoin. And if you are part of WorldCoin, now you can actually understand that there's a case currently against WorldCoin by our commissioner. So you'll be able to understand that. Yeah. So what are the best practices for effective data governance? What should we be doing? I want to go through this because these are my last slides so that we can now engage as a team. So we define roles and responsibilities. Say who will be doing what. Have it clear who will be doing what. There are some times where push and pull starts happening because sometimes when you own data, you feel some power, right? So when you need it, you will always feel like someone needs to give it to you. So there might be a conflict of who owns what and who does what. Yeah. So the stewardship roles, who needs to oversee what? There's who owns, right? I was saying that payroll is, if you're doing payroll, then you own payroll data. Then the stewardship should be, what should be your supervisor be doing in terms of you holding that data? And accountability and consistency. Yes, I hold the data, but up to what level am I accountable for this information? So do you have that? Yeah. So then establish policies and standards. So these are where also you'll also be able to explain what these policies are, what address data quality do you require, security, privacy, and usage. So you want to define how this data will be used. Remember, we are required to give employee details, or any person that you gather data from, you must tell them why you need that information. Then how do you communicate? How do you ensure consistent adherence? Because that one comes with the policy and standards, where you have to go back and check step by step on what is to be done. So you also need to implement data governance tools. So how do we track data? And if you want to give us a challenge, that you also need to go and look into the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology, where you can able to track how things have moved. And it will be a very good thing in the coming future where And actually, it's even happening now. Sometimes you wonder, a photo has been posted, you don't know where it came from, but for those with the advanced technology, will know where it came from and who even edited it. So it has got all those details up to the last point who the person who had. So we can track the data. We can now look at cataloging and quality monitoring. So all that needs to be brought in. So if your system allows numerics or alphanumerics, then it should only be that. So we're saying that if you are going to upload a photo, it should not allow you to upload a document. It should only allow you to upload a photo in JPEG or PNG. Those are the formats. So it should not be allowing you to bring in something that is not that, so that it also helps you in maintaining the integrity of whatever you need to upload. So training and awareness is where we tend to hold more information from people because we think that they should not know. Yeah. And sometimes we don't even tell our employees what they need to be knowing. And remember, as HR, it is a requirement by the law that should tell employees everything of what they should be knowing. So if something that you have that don't train employees on, and one of the things that you need to train your employees on is data governance issues, so that they be able to have. And nowadays, everybody's handling data, however small it is, however not important it is, but the state data that can be connected to some other thing and make sense. So educate your employees on data handling best practices and importance of data integrity. So tell them that I need my salaries in Kenya shillings. Why? Because if you do Tanzanian shillings, then I might remit a wrong tax to KRA because you're basing on Kenya shilling, Tanzanian shillings. So Tanzanian shillings and our Kenya shillings are different. So can we maintain this format? So that integrity, why is it important for me to have accurate data? Tell them that I went to the board today and the board told me to go back with my information because it was wrong. The trust has been lost. We need to be compliant. So that's what you need to tell your employees. How does this thing affect them and affect the company as a whole? Then continuous monitoring and improvement. Nothing stays the same forever. So it's always good for us to continually monitor and improvement. And one of the roles that have also been coming up more is a role of monitoring and evaluation specialists. People who are able to compare the progress of anything that is happening, so that if you have a policy that you implement today, if you implement something today, they're able to track its changes and able to tell you that this part needs to be changed, or this part needs to be removed or added, a new part being added, so that we can make improvement. So it's a continuous improvement, and we need to also, as HR, need to understand the ISO 9001 that talks about the quality management systems for the continuous improvement. So you need to look at it and also just see what do we actually have and how do we improve our practices. So in conclusion, I'm saying that it is very crucial for us. We need it to be data integrity that we are having. So always pass data that is trustworthy, which will enable compliance. Yeah. And you're saying that you cannot achieve integrity without data governance. Without a framework, there will be a problem. And I know for those of us who are picking if you are getting into a new department, you might not think about data governance, even in HR department. You'll just go in and start doing your normal HR things without setting proper what is on the data. So adopt best practices for effective data governance. So we have looked at them, and you need to actually bring them up. If you need to have a consultant to help you, then you need to bring the person in. So thank you for listening, and I want to open up the session so that we are able to have a dialogue on the same.
Nelson, thank you very
yes.
much for that. I was caught up in a polygamous situation. I was with the HR meeting and I was late for this. I can see our friend Lillian Ngala is here. Let us give her a chance to talk about data. Lillian, you can unmute and say something about this particular discussion. Lillian Ngala, you have to unmute yourself, even if you're eating. Lillian, uko hapo ama umetoka? As Lillian unmutes herself, I am assuming she's Yes.
I've unmuted.
Yes.
This is not Jay. The name has
This is
disappeared.
Richard. This is Richard. You don't know my voice.
Richard, not Jay.
Fun.
Sorry. Richard, how are you?
Very well, my
Members,
friend.
participants, good evening one more time.
Good evening.
I think there's nothing much to contribute on. No? Mine is just to thank Nelson for the good overview. I think it was also just learning, and every day there's something new we are learning. So it was not my day, it's Nelson's day to just teach us, or basically just give us an overview of what in terms of what data is all about. So yes, you're all on the learning page, especially with the matters data. So thank you so much, Nelson, and the participant, all of us. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Nelson, somebody was asking me yesterday, during an interview, they were asked about the difference between big data and analytics. And this is a question that has become so prevalent, and it's an emerging question. How do you approach such a question when you are asked, especially in an organizational setting? How will you pinpoint that this, within an organization, this is big data, and then this is the analytics part of big data?
Okay. So now, big data is just to say that we have a lot of information. We have a lot of information. So how is big? There's nobody who says how big is big, but there are pointers to big data. Number one is the volume. Yeah. So if you have 2 employees and someone has got 1,000 employees, who has got big data now amongst the two? So the volume will always tell you that there is a big data. And number 2 is the velocity.
Okay.
The rate at which you are getting information flowing in, the flow in or out. So like we just said that if you have 1,000 employees, remember that you might be having every day employees will be saying something about their data. They'll be asking you, or they'll be applying for leave today. Tomorrow, someone wants to be cancelled. Someone wants this to happen. This to another one to happen. So the velocity, how quick is it coming in? Look at what subgroups that you are in. So sometimes you wake up and see that you already have 1,000 SMS or even 500 SMSs. So it means that it came in very fast. Then another one is where we talk about volume. Then there's also value. This information that you are having, how valuable is it? Which is now another concept that came in terms of big data is the value data that you are having. Yeah. So those are the very key aspects. Then there's one for
veracity. There is veracity, the factuality, the truthfulness, the reliability.
Yes. So now variability, the veracity that we're talking about here is what we just looked at. We talk about the data integrity. Can it be trusted? And then how many types of data that are you handling, or how many variables are you having? Remember, in a company where you have got you are doing you are in an FMCG, you might be having so many data in terms of different kind of products. You'll be having different kind of customers. You'll be, if you're international, you'll be having various currencies. So you have a lot of data types that you are handling at the same time. So that's how we talk about big data. You define them in those lines. So now I want to challenge us to look into worldmeters. Worldmeters.com. Yeah. So worldmeters.com is a place where we get world data. Yeah. And remember, during COVID, that's where we had a lot of information running through. So Worldmeter gives real-time statistics and things are happening there. So I think I can share my screen just to explain that. It can be easier using Worldmeters to do the same. So if you look at Worldmeter, you can see that population is changing very fast. You can see and how many people are there. So we have got world population data here. Yeah. You look at government and economics, the data is coming in very fast. You can look at the volume of information that you are having. So this one shows you how Worldmeters, you can check the data that you are looking at, and you can see that there are various types: society and media, governance from various areas. Look at the volume of what we are having here. And if you look at this, it's coming in Kenya shillings, it's in new media, these are just numbers of various types. So it gives you a picture of what big data is all about. So this one here is big data. Now, analysis is what insights are you deriving from that information that you have? However small or big, what insights are you looking at it? There have been discussions about print media and whether it will go or we still have print media. But look at how many books have been published this year. 1.7 have been published. How many papers are we having? It is 399 being circulated. 399 today only. So I can tell you that now, as much as you say people are saying that we're not going to have print media, but look at what is happening. We still have them flowing in. So it might not be true. So that's what we are saying, that's what I'm getting from this information. That's my insight from analysis. So an analysis can combine statistical, where you have to do the maths, or at times it can be based on your previous information that you already had. So I know that I always leave my workplace at 8 p.m. So I know that tomorrow I leave at 8 p.m. That's my analysis because of my previous knowledge. So I don't need to do any maths on that. And again, analysis does not mean thoroughly maths or thoroughly the tools. It's about are you able to derive insights by just recognizing numbers that you see on the screen. Yes.
Thank you, Nelson. Now, the other day we were talking about HR transformation and the misconceptions that surround HR. How can we transform data as a strategic component for the business so that it is used properly? So some people are very skeptical. Those